there was a time in the last 2-3 years where I was feeling a little lost. I was feeling like, okay, what else do I want to do? Do I keep on continuing this? Comedy के अलावा कुछ करना है? Like all those things. I think because I had not done doctorate and I had not done any big, degrees like they had hoped for. They were anyway in the sense that, okay, now just do this and then let's get married. You keep continuing your job because now it's cool and 2 incomes are nice. But let's find you a boy. So they had already started, and by 24, which is when I think I had just started to work with iDiva, just gotten my first job. They had given me a deadline. My father had given me a deadline of a year. Okay, now in 1 year, if you don't find someone, this weird thing of parents, pehle you're not supposed to be friends with a boy, and suddenly they'll be like, koi hai to batao, tell us. Otherwise we'll have to do it, and we fear we won't be able to get a match for you. So all of that was happening, that please find someone or we'll find it or whatever. It'll take time. 2 साल तो शादी होने में लग जाते हैं, तो you'll be 27 when you get married. Oh my God, such a big deal. So they'd already given me that ultimatum, which I was obviously fighting against. And I was like, what is this nonsense? And the good thing is I was away from them, so I could always be like, okay, bye. Cutting the phone down or not visiting them enough because that's all you're gonna hear. But I feel like that's also the year my life changed anyway. So I think for the better. Otherwise,
it's so interesting, right? Because when I was writing my book, Sisterhood Economy, I must have spoken to 5,000 different women. And so many women said, I did a PhD not because I was interested in studying, but it helped push marriage by a few years. And I was thinking that, wow, this is fascinating, right? Because it tells you there are all kinds of things that are required to make a strategy to push your parents from getting you married. Like that 1 more year of life that you could have.
Exactly.
And then boom, this is where we are. So Dolly makes it big on Instagram and YouTube, and everybody now knows the Dolly Singh, right? But then they start saying, hey, now that we know Dolly Singh, how can we let her be in peace? So let's troll her a bit about her weight. Sometimes they'll troll her about something else. Or comedy at times as well, right? Because one person's comedy is not always another person's comedy. So, you entered this thing that it'll be huge, which it was. But then also came these complexities that sort of feed into it. How was that journey for you? And were you prepared for it?
No, I don't think I was. I mean, for the good and bad, both. I was not prepared. I think initially, what really helped me, and I said it also in one of my videos, that I had already had so much of, I had seen a lot of bullying up close. And it's not to say that it was my own, my God, exclusive experience and nobody goes through it. I think everybody goes through it to some, length, whatever. It depends. I feel like mine was a lot more, it was just, I remember a few years were just too bad in school and then at home. There was a lot of chatter of like how I look and what my body is like and how
what
it's
was
not
the chatter
gonna,
like?
Just, body shaming you and, just telling you that you're not, you have to khana khao, or you'll not be able to bear a child later. How will you marry? What will a man see? Like, girls would say to me, like, what will a man find in you? You have no curves. So things like that. And I think I had seen it so much up close in my school life when you become teenagers and people start bullying each other for whatever. They have their own insecurities and they are bullying
then
you. It's such a toxic cycle. And then you come to college and in PG and stuff. So I feel like I met a lot of those kind of people. And it took a toll on me, but it also made me a lot more stronger to the sense that after when this whole internet trolling started, I was like, I don't care.
She said, I've done live stuff.
I have seen it here. Like I've heard those things in my ears, with from people I love. You're not gonna be able to really poke me there. So for the first few years, I was actually very unbothered by that. Maybe there's a day where I'm already not feeling so good about my body. And then someone says something and it just sits with you.
And then there's comparison?
There's comparison. But I feel like I feel like once you grow up and you get things in life, which is also I feel like why you become superstitious, is when you have things to lose, it starts becoming, you start panicking about it, right?
Yes.
Whether it's your criticism on your career or whatever you're doing, you know, your performance, kuch likha hai aapne, acha nahi aaya, or some video is bad and people are criticizing it. Now that criticism could be actual criticism, could be random trolling also. Either way, it can affect you depending on where you're at and what you're feeling inside. So I feel like in the last 2-3, there was a time in the last 2-3 years where I was feeling a little lost. I was feeling like, okay, what else do I want to do? Do I keep on continuing this? Comedy ke alawa kuch karna hai? Like all those things. I feel like, you know, that
transition moment.
Yeah, exactly, that moment. And I think that period was hard for me to then read those comments because I was already in such a vulnerable state of, okay, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm not
like
supposed to do
the
this.
is just feeding into your insecurities.
Exactly, right? Like, you know, so I feel like sometimes when you see those thoughts really come out live like text on your screen, it affects you. And also because I feel like I have really toned down the body shaming in real life. You know, people don't say it to my face anymore so much because I'm not just a kid anymore.